Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I love? Patreon.com/inkdependence, where patrons get access to a patron-only Discord, ad-free videos, and the joy of knowing they help support this channel. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and today I have a cool pen to show you, and it's this one from Endless Pens and their Hatch program, which brings together artists and brands to make really cool stuff. This one is a collaboration with MIKEMATTESON over on Instagram. Find her there. And they sent this one out for me to review. This is actually my first Kilk pen, and I'm kind of psyched about that. I have been using this pen for a little bit, and so I've got a pretty good impression about what we got going on here. All right, so let's take a look at the pen, and then we'll talk a little bit about other stuff. So here's the box here. Little subtle branding there, not so subtle here, but subtle branding here, details down her, and then inside you have a pen cleaning cloth to to wipe smudges off your pen, and also I guess clean up the hardware, because there's a fair amount of silver on this pen. Next up, there is a warranty card in here. It says premium resin body. This is actually diamond cast, which is pretty fun. A V2 steel nib, solid 925K matte silver accents, and then a converter filling system. But they will warranty that over at Endless for a couple of years, so that's pretty cool. Then we have here the Kilk exclusive writing instruments use and care guide, which tells you about how to care for your pens and avoid damaging and all that sort of thing. So there you go. There's the Istanbul, Turkey address and all that sort of jazz for Kilk themselves. They're a fairly new company. Their website says 2024, it's 2024 now. Their website says 2020. So I guess they haven't been around super long, although I'm not sure exactly when they started making pens, but that seems to be when they expanded more. And then we get to the pen. So let's get this out of here. All right, here we have the Kilk and MIKEMATTESON's Manila Sunset fountain pen. This is, as I said before, a Hatch exclusive Orient model. These models are pretty easy to see from across the room. They're very distinctive. You have a really nice and kind of graceful clip here, I think. I like the shape of this thing. This is, as it says, solid silver, and that makes me worry that it might be a little fragile or something, but I haven't had any problems putting this over shirt pockets and like a few papers and that sort of thing. It's got some give to it, but it doesn't feel like it's going to snap off or anything like that. It feels like a nice sturdy clip. And it is, as I said, very graceful. I like the lines of this thing. It just looks very nice and kind of classy. Then you have this band here at the center of the pen, which I think is a cool design. It's a really nice design feature, and it makes the pen stand out for sure. The finial up here is fairly tall, which is a very specific kind of look. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I kind of want the finial to be maybe a little bit shorter. Maybe, I don't know, but it does give you a nice look at some of this material, and the material itself is really stunning. This is a diamond cast material by Tim McKenzie and MIKEMATTESON, giving them the inspiration for it, which is very dark on this side, but also with a big pop of pinks and purples and yellows there. Oranges maybe even. And then on the other side of this blank, it's got a much more sort of demure look to it here. It's a little bit, more night sky sort of situation. Do be aware though that with blanks like this, the mix of these colors and materials is going to be a bit different. So while mine looks like this, yours might look different. We just have to accept that about these cool swirly acrylic materials, just kind of the way it goes. The ones that I've seen online, it seems like the orange was kind of on this side. I kind of like that mine is all on one side. I think it looks a little bit better that way, but you're going to have a lot of variation in these pens, and that's part of the fun, I think. The other thing to notice is there is quite a large taper from the finial up here down to the bottom of the pen here. It's a fairly severe taper. It does make it very comfortable to hold, which is nice. Let's get the cap off here, and then we'll talk about dimensions and all that jazz. Taking off the cap, you'll notice immediately there is a very nice hourglassy sort of waist right here, and then it's sort of thick in the middle and then tapers pretty hard. It is a very comfortable pen to hold because of the way that this taper is right here in the pen. It gives you something really nice and positive to hold on to. It's also got a nice diameter there of about 11 to 13 millimeters, depending on where you're touching it. Here at the waist where it's skinnier, that's 11 millimeters, which is a great size, I think, for a pen like this for me. If you hold it further back, it's going to be 13, which is fairly large. You also have these threads here, but they're very small threads, and they don't feel rough to me. I don't hold a pen this far back at all, so I never feel them. They're, completely out of the way of my fingers. Then you have the nib here. This is one of the stainless steel nibs. They also have them in 14 karat gold. We've got sizes from extra fine up to double broad in both sorts of nib, I believe. The nibs are very simple looking. It just says Kilk there. with a B for the size marking. Thank you for marking the size on there. I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure this is a Bach nib on here, and they don't generally mark their nibs, so that must have been done by Kilk when they were engraving them, because they don't usually mark the size on their nib. It does write very well, as we'll see here in a little bit. It has that characteristic Bach feel to it, so if you like that feel, it's going to be a good feeling nib for you. I like the steel nibs just fine. I don't see any particular reason to upgrade to the gold for me, but, different tastes for different folks. The pen does post. And it posts pretty well. I don't really write with it posted. I think it gives you a little bit too much weight up here with this big chunk of silver on the clip. And I think that it's actually very well balanced to write like this without the posting. Just hold this in your other hand or, put it down, that sort of thing. All right, let's talk about some lengths and measures and that sort of thing. When it is capped here, we have a measurement of 4.5 inches long, a little bit under 4.5 inches long, but I think it's a perfectly cromulent size. Very nice for the pocket. At the pocket here, the pocket depth from the inside of the top of the clip down to the bottom is a little under 5 inches, so it fits well in all the pockets I've put it in. If you've got little tiny pockets, maybe it won't fit, but it seems fine to me. Also, it screws on, so you can just put it in your shirt placket if you need to. Uncapped, we have a length just over 5 inches long at 5.19 inches or 132 millimeters. So a perfectly good size for even my fairly large hands here. And posted, we're up to 6.22 inches, which is fairly long. And as I said, it may be a little bit too heavy with this cap back here, but that's going to depend on your hold and how you like your pens to feel, frankly. So yeah, pretty good. I'm liking this pen. I think this is a handsome and comfortable pen to use. All right, let's take a look at it next to a bunch of other pens, and then we'll do a little writing sample with this thing. Okay, so I chose a bunch of pens that are kind of the same sort of size and in some cases the same sort of price range for this. This pen does go for $320 with the stainless steel nib. Of course, it's on sale right now, but $320 is the usual price, and then $550 with the gold. So the gold nib does step up the price quite a lot. Whether that's worth it to you is entirely up to you. Over here, we have the Lamy 2000. Then we have the Platinum 3776 right there. That's the Sands of Komodo version. Then we have here a Leonardo Momento Zero. This is the Hades one, another Hatch project by Endless Pens. Then we have here an Omos Bologna, one of the newer ones. And then right here, one of my very favorites, the Pilot 823. So you can see this one is a little bit shorter when it is. Let's just go ahead and make sure these are all down to the bottom. I'm seeing a little bit of air there. One second. Now we are all squared up nicely. So yeah, it's a pretty normal length, I think. It's about the same as the 3776, a little bit shorter than some of the others, but I mean, this is a very normal pen length for sure. This is a fairly large pen as those things go. Let's take off the caps and see what it looks like uncapped next to all these. Okay, there you go. So you can see once we take the cap off, it's actually longer than all of these except for the 823, which it is pretty much exactly the same length as. And like I said, this is my very favorite pen, so it's not a huge surprise that I like the feel of this one in the hand, especially unposted. It works great that way. So let's get these caps back on and do a little writing sample with this pen. All right, so I've been waving this one around for a little while at this point, probably like half an hour or something. It takes a while to film these videos, but let's take a look and see how it does. And the answer is that it writes perfectly well. I mean, it just started right up with no problems, which is it's very nice and impressive, especially since I've just been waving this thing around for a while. I'll see inside here. Yeah, I filled this up with ink not too long ago because I keep running through this ink. I need to review it because I just been running through it in this pen. But this Sailor Kobe number 22 is real fun in here. I like that it kind of matched or like at least went with the color combos of this pen, and it's very nice. So yeah, there you go. This is, it's a little bit on the wet side perhaps, but it is a broad nib, and that's not terribly surprising. And it is a Bach nib, and those tend to be a little bit on the wetter side too, I believe. So yeah, really nice. And this has been a good pen experience overall. I think that Micah Fines and Tim over at Diamond Cast did a really nice job putting together this pen sort of color. The the reference photo that is set up with this pen is pretty much dead on, so that's very cool. So yeah, I don't know, I like this a lot. I think it's definitely worth checking out. These Kilk pens are cool. I'm sure this won't be my last one, but thank you very much again to Endless for sending this out and let me show this to people. I'm enjoying it, and good luck to those of you who are going to enter to win one on Instagram when this video goes up. And Let me know what you think about Kilk pens. What's your favorite model of these? Because they make some really interesting pens. So let me know what you like out there and like what maybe my next one should be. All right, thanks very much for watching. Think about what you put out in the world, make it a better place, and peace out.